My friends, here's the basic master's lineage of Shuri Te. A Chinese fisherman landed off the coast of the Ryu Kyu Islands. This is the legend, okay? Name of Shinto, or could have been Kunsuku. Some people say it was Shinto, some people say it was Kunsuku. I actually have books that say both. But anyway, he taught it to Tore. Tore taught it to Monsu. First was known as Tore Te, then it became known as Shuri Te, the king city of Shuri, Okinawa, the big birthplace of the Okinawa martial arts. Then it got taught to all the way down the line, all the way up to Master Itso, who taught it to Gishin Funakoshi, and then a student of Funakoshi taught it to Abbot Alan Trias, and Trias taught it to my sensei taught it to me. That's the basic master's lineage, with a lot of masters in between. So watch this video and enjoy the lineage of the Shuri Te. Hey, my fellow YouTubers and friends. This is Master Kerofsky. You can see I have my glasses on. I usually talk with my glasses off, but just showing you, yes, I do wear glasses. One of my questions, and speaking of that, comment below any questions you have, so I can do QA video number 3. I was going to do QA video number 3 last year, but I haven't had a lot of questions. So last week I talked about upcoming videos along with the battle of Okinawa and the Shuri line. This week I'm going to talk about the history of Shuri Te itself and some of the masters. I'm also going to next week or the following week I'm going to talk about my life journey, revisited. The only other one I have is the conspiracy one, which I'm gonna do sometime. I'm doing some more notes and research on that. Yeah, unfortunately, all my notes were lost, like I said. Other than that, comment down below. Also, any other video suggestions that you have, because that's pretty much it. I'm running out of video suggestions. Without further ado, here we go. The history of Shuri Te. Shuri Te / Shuri Ryu has the longest unbroken history of any style of karate. Its origins are traced to Buddha Hama, 470 to 523, who was the founder of Zen in the 6th century. So you're talking about a long, unbroken lineage, all right? course, it was known as Shuri Te before the Japanese influence over Okinawa. Uh, Okinawa is the birthplace of karate, not Japan. Um, Okinawa and Japan were two separate countries, and many of the old Okinawans still feel it is, because they had a different culture than the Japanese culture. Okay. Shuri Te, of course, is linked to the ancient film of Te in Okinawa, and it was also, I think I mentioned, combined with Tagumi. All the Okinawan forms, the original five systems, I guess you would say the five systems of Okinawa, uh, were all combined with Tagumi, which is the ancient Okinawan form of wrestling. Okay. The first to master the style was Tori Sagawa. Now, there's a Kanji Tori, which is he became known as Tori Sakigawa. That's a different person. I'm going to get to that. All right. 1548 to 1627, he taught it to Chujin Monsu. This is some of the history that I researched. 1608 to 1695, who taught it to the Dragon Boy Soshin, 1681 to 1777. Created the kata known as the Dragon Boy Dumping Form in 1695 in honor of his master's death. All right. The kata became known as Wansu, also known as Unsu, Unshu, and several different names for this kata. Right. Other forms in Shuri Te are as follows: Anako, which is a pivoting form. Nihanshi, known as the missing enemy form. Right. Senshin, the three conflict form. Empire Sho, one warrior. Basai Dai, also known as Patsai, to breach the fortress. Gopai Sho, the peacock form. Denin Sho, white swallow on the beach form. And Nidan Sho, difficult victory form. Then the Flowing Lagoon, Kunkusho, and Tinsho, which is a breathing form. I'm trying to talk without stirring because I got hit in the head a lot back in 1988. I'm going a little off subject, but back in 88. Went to go visit the DMZ in Korea, and the shipment I was with was going towards an off-limit area, and then and I was trying to stop him, and so I was following him, and I got stopped by these 5 Koreans. Basically, I got in a street fight. I got a couple good hits in. They got knocked in the back of the head with some type of club or something, and next thing I saw was this foot coming up, and it knocked my teeth loose, and then maybe I had to end up pulling my teeth right here because it was knocked so loose that I can move them with my tongue, and then boom. And my balance and stuff, and it's been starting to affect me a little bit today. Those old injuries, the head is nothing to mess around with, and wow, but back to this. Now the other masters for Shuri Te. Now I'm going to Kangi Sakigawa, 1733 to 1815. Okay? And remember, Shuri, the king city of Okinawa, really is the birthplace of karate, from Tori Torite to Shuri Te, really the birthplace of karate, the Shuri city, the King city. Um, and then of course it spread to other regions like Naha, and Naha became known as Naha Te, and Tamara became known as Tamara Te, and then the other style that was a big influence was from Master Miyagi. Now, not the Miyagi and the Karate Kid, but Master Miyagi. I'm actually going to talk about the 5 original styles in another video, but Master Miyagi hit it Goju-Ryu. And then after that, all these other systems of karate spread. Sekigawa taught it to Bushe Soken Matsumara. So there's in my old system of credit, my school, there was a lot of Matsumara influence. All right, 1776 and 67 to 1869. Creator of the Bushite Kippo, Yoga Kasaka, 1798 to 1881. Created the Pine Tree, the school, the Pine Tree School, and the Pine Tree Wind School. And then, not to mention the two greatest, Choki Matobo, 1870 to 1944, and Anko Itasu, 1831 to 1915. See? So, these were a lot of great masters. See how it's like linked? Unbroken lineage. Of course, Master Ituso to Shuri Te to Master Gishin Funakoshi, 1868 to 1957, who created Shotokan, the Hall Shuto, his pen name, after he was invited to teach karate to school children in Japan by the Japanese Ministry of Education in the early 1900s. He also created the Taikyoku kata in 1922 to simplify kata for a beginning student to better understand it and master. He also took from Jinseo's Kano's belt system. Now, Kano created a belt system, a ranking structure for judo. Gishin Funakoshi took from that, created a ranking structure for karate. So he was one of the biggest influences in Shuri Te, Shuri-Ryu / Shotokan. Shotokan is, all these styles are all linked together. They're all linked together. Now, of course, another master who furthered the development of Shuri-Ryu was a Chinese master, Shang Hsing, who integrated the eternal Chinese systems of Hissing Yi, Pa Kwa, Chen Fi, and other internal systems of the Shaolin. Right? The elder Hsing taught it to his nephew, Teng Gi Hsing. Okay. And then he was approached by one of the greatest masters of that time, of course, Matobu. And the integration of the systems is the entirety of the Shuri-Ryu system, which is taught today. Okay. They're saying traveled to the Solomon Islands as a missionary during World War II. And of course, approached by the now famous exchange between Robert Allen Trias or Robert Alberto Trias, who was a middleweight boxing champion in the United States Navy, born in 1923, died in 1989. I also met Robert A. Trias. He would come and visit a dojo from time to time, especially during promotions and tests. And then he trained in these systems of Shuri Kempo. He was in the Solomon Islands, and then later he trained with a student of Funakusha in Singapore, Ho Young Ping, and in Jiu-Jitsu, who was tied to the to ancient school of Jiu-Jitsu in Japan. And I have a lot of details on my website. I'm gonna send the link to this. And then of course, Robert Trias taught my sensei Jess Mills. And Jess Mills also had a lot of Matsumura influence. Jess Mills did his own thing with Shuri Ryu. And then I took from it, and of course, with my studies of Hung Gar Kung Fu and American Kempo Karate and created what I call Tiger-Roo. So I'm part of that lineage too, even though I did kind of my own thing with it, you know. and that's the history of Shuri Te, and my website KarateTim.com. I have the complete history. This is just a paraphrase, but I have the complete history of it on here, and all the other masters that I did not mention. That's my story of Tiger-Roo, and relate to some of my arts that I've done, and my Navy journey on my website. So anyway, comment down below. Like I said before, any questions for Q&A vid number 3? Comment any questions that you have about Shuri Te and its lineage. As you can see, it has a long unbroken lineage. It's all linked also to that Battle of Okinawa, which I talked about last week. So, wow, you know. And it is my passion, as you can tell. The martial arts is my passion, particularly in my base style, where I started out in. I've done other different styles of the martial arts, but the base style is what got me started, and it was a long journey for me, which I'll be talking about either next week or the week after, depending if my son Tim comes over. If my son Tim comes over, we're going to do like a demo with cross blocks, and that is going to be a video that I will have coming up. So. Comment, like, subscribe. Get me to 100 subs, and I'm going to do the Ice Bath Challenge. Blessings always. Us.